Hi everyone, we are going to understand what it means to do a strategic planning and policies. So let's understand the purpose. Cybersecurity is a very critical component of any organization's core strategy. As the organization evolves, it also increases the risk, and we need to make sure that our assets are protected and our business is running continuously. We also need to make sure that our C-suite and board, they understand and follow the different policies, because when leadership is engaged and committed to following these policies, it sends a very strong message to the entire organization, fostering a culture of security and accountability. We need to put a 3 to 5 year plan in place to make sure that there are specific goals, milestones, and initiatives that can strengthen the organization's security process. We will also talk about a little bit on policies, standards, guidelines, and procedures, what it means. So let's understand how can we talk about different learning styles. So before we talk about our learning styles, we need to make sure that we understand our audience. So we need to make sure that we know their degree of knowledge, their area of experience, needs, and area of interest. And then we have to make sure that we have customized the content which is tailored to the requirements and taste of the intended audience based on audience study. We need to make sure that there is a pre-writing in place that is basically listing all the primary ideas and goals of the technical communication and artifact. We need to create a draft of the material using the suggested format. Then finally, once the draft is ready, we'll edit it, take a close look at the draft, revise the draft, make sure that the style is consistent and the content can be easily accessed. Different elements that we have in the writing process. So we can use visual aids, which includes infographics, graphs, and charts that can be used to simplify complex concepts. We need to make sure that there is a consistent formatting in place for the entire document. It makes sure that the font is same, the font size and font styles for heading, body, text, and other elements is consistent. For people with impairments, we need to make sure that the communication artifact can be accessed by people with impairment. So consider color contrast for readability, use accessible document formats, and give alternative text for images. When it comes to cybersecurity strategic framework and policies, we need to think of a 3 to 5 year plan. The first year, 1 to 2, goes in setting up a framework that includes basic network security and access controls, develop plans and procedures, and then we need to start training and ensure backups are in place. From year 3 to 5, we create more in-depth security policies from year 1 to 2 experience, and then we review national compliance and make sure everything is in order. We also do red teaming exercises, penetration testing, and regular security assessments to find vulnerabilities and flaws. Finally, when we are at year 5 mark, we begin finalizing a tried and true structure, make sure continuous training is in place, and make sure everyone's in on board with a business continuity plan. It also helps us to lead to put a design for security architecture. That includes system security. System security helps to prevent attacks from spreading laterally. We can do that by dividing up our network in different zones. We can set up next generation firewalls, intrusion prevention systems, and secure web gateways. Device location, user identity, and other contextual factors are used to limit access in architectural design to promote zero trust. Finally, we also need to put in place endpoint protection for modern software. We need to install behavioral analysis tools. Safe containerization and remote work on mobile device control is also need to be there. Secure the cloud. Whenever our applications are running on cloud, we need to make sure that data is encrypted when it is sitting at rest or is in motion. Systems that defend cloud workloads against attacks in real time. Data protection. So we need to classify and label data for data loss prevention to prevent any unauthorized data exfiltration. So to keep information private, we need to make sure that sensitive data is encrypted and tokenized. We need to make sure that there is a identity and access management solution in place, that like single sign-on or rollback based access control. Now we have some key organizational roles that play a very key important role here. So we have board and C-suite that need to understand the importance that organization cybersecurity goals align with its strategic objectives. Then our CIO or chief technology officers, they need to play a critical role in making strategic decisions related to the IT budget, technology, and cybersecurity policies. Our chief information security officer, that he or she oversee the cybersecurity aspect of IT governance. This role basically involves developing, implementing, and monitoring security programs to protect the organization's data. IT managers, they need to be there to ensure that all IT systems operate within the set guidelines. Compliance officers, they are usually legal experts. They are updated on relevant laws and regulations to help interpret these into actionable policies. Network security administrator. This network security administrator is directly involved in implementing security policies, monitoring network access, and responding to security breaches. We have data protection officers, specifically in EU under GDPR. They oversee strategies and policies for handling personal data security and in compliance with data protection laws. We have human resources. They play a critical role in conducting background checks for our employees regarding cybersecurity. We have IT audit teams. They also play a pivotal role in identifying vulnerabilities and non-compliance issues. Then we have business unit managers, BU managers. They should be involved to ensure that IT policies align with the specific department needs and overall business strategy. What are some of the key components of IT governance under cybersecurity framework? So we need to have an alignment between leadership and IT governance. It supports our business, so we need to make sure that our leadership understands what our strategic needs are, and our IT strategy supports our business objectives. We also need to have risk management, which means that we need to identify, quantify, and manage risks. Then we need to make sure that there is compliance management. So we need to understand applicable laws, standards, and regulations. Then finally, understand our security policies and controls. So we need to develop basically comprehensive policies that define employee responsibilities and expected behavior. Information security management is another key component. Protect data from unauthorized access to ensure privacy is there. Then we need to deploy solutions to safeguard against threats and vulnerabilities. Training and awareness. We need to conduct training programs on compliance issues and safe practices. There are certain frameworks like NEST, ISO, IEC, and COBIT, which are available as pre-built frameworks that we can use to manage cybersecurity risk. How can we use effective communication in computing? So first thing is we need to identify problems. We can do that by listening and observing, asking open-ended questions. Then finally, we need to formulate solution. We can use documentation and collaborative communication to do this, where effective communication helps in synthesizing diverse perspectives into a coherent strategy. And we can move to solving problems, which helps us in putting instructional communication and also feedback loops that helps in refining solution and use real-time, real-world feedback. How can we communicate between different group of audiences? So we need to have an adapting style and content. So we need to tailor our style, tone, and technical depth. We also need to have visual aids and demonstrations like charts, graphs, and prototypes that can make complex problems understandable and engage them for non-tech audience. Now let's understand this in terms of our HNSA Financial Bank that has put in a vision and statement. So it's a hypothetical organization. And let's understand how it aligns with our security framework. So security as a trust enabler. For HNSA Financial Bank, we have put in a mission to maintain integrity and trust. So secure practices ensure that customers feel confident in their interactions with us. We need to put innovation in security practices. So this includes deploying advanced security tools, adopting new security protocols. Then there's specific contributions for the InfoSec plan. So there is a risk management that is in place. This proactive approach helps in maintaining uninterrupted and secure operation. Compliance and regulatory adherence need to be there. This compliance not only prevents legal penalties, but also ensures our customers and stakeholders are committed to lawful and ethical conduct. And there is incident response and continuity planning. We need to make sure that we can maintain our operations under various scenarios, aligning with our mission's focus on reliability. Then we need to also look for our business objectives are aligned with our IT strategy. So ensure that these initiatives are launched with robust security measures in place that supports our vision of growth and leadership. Finally, how can we improve? That is done using feedback and adaptation. This ongoing improvement supports our vision of being a leader in innovation and customer satisfaction. Now, let's talk about policies, standards, guidelines, and procedures. What are policies? They are formal statements that are built upon a framework and align with our business objectives. They provide clear direction and principle for handling information security within the organization. Now, coming to standards, they are more detailed than policies and may include technical specification. What are guidelines? They are advisory in nature and provide guidance on effectively implementing policies and standards. Procedures, when it comes to procedures, they are practical and operational in nature, often tailored to the specific needs of different parts of the organization. Now, how can we evaluate cybersecurity frameworks? So, we need to first make sure that our cybersecurity program aligns with our business needs. So, such as we need to protect our intellectual property, we need to protect our customer data, or secure our financial transactions. Risk management need to be there. Frameworks like NEST and ISO 27001 emphasize risk management approach. This approach ensures that resources are allocated efficiently and focus on areas of greatest need. Then we need to think of compliance and trust. So this not only avoids potential penalties, but also enhances the trust of customers. Continuous improvement. This aspect of the framework ensures that the cybersecurity program remains effective and current. They provide a structured approach to managing security that is adaptable to the specific requirements and risk environment of the organization, while also facilitating compliance and fostering continuous improvement in security practices. And with that, I close my presentation. Thank you.